Well, it's always a pleasure and a delight to have Bhavish Aggarwal of OLA Group to talk to us and share his insights on the IPO. So let's start with a smile. I would say a big smile. Issue has gone through. And कहते हैं ना अग्नि परीक्षा में सफल हो गए हो.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's been the response like? I mean, first give us a sense of institutional response, HNI response and retail response.
Nikunj, it's been quite a response. मेरा तो पहला IPO है, but I've been quite excited and amazed by how strongly the street has backed this issue. And right from, हमने इसको we priced it in a way that we wanted enough people across types of investors, institutional, retail, HNIs, all of them to see some attractiveness and excitement about it. And I think that's what has happened. Institutions oversubscribed by around 5.5x. Retail within the first couple of hours on day one itself was fully subscribed. So employees, I was surprised how many are employees subscribed. I think 12.5x. So it's been a very strong response to our issue. बहुत exciting है, and I'm very eagerly looking forward to the future as a public company.
So what will change for OLA Electric in next week because when it goes public?
Nothing will change, hopefully. I think obviously we will be a public company. We will be accountable to all stakeholders in the broader sense. But from our fundamentals, nothing changes. The vision that we have, the mission that we have to really make India a global EV hub and to make all of automotive in India electric and to build core EV technologies like the lithium cell in India, all of that remains the same. In fact, this milestone only further strengthens our resolve as a company and as a team to really continue on this path.
Looking at a subscription number now that you have a full house, any second thoughts that you should have priced the issue higher?
No, I think, the price was the right price. I think we left something for everybody. And in the end, my goal was to get a wide spectrum of investors interested and excited to be part of this journey. Because, like I shared on with you a few days ago, this is a India future manufacturing product, make in India story. And we're just getting started. EV and energy tech in India is just in its absolute infancy. So we बहुत काम करना है and उस काम के लिए पूरे street का समर्थन और partnership लगेगा, and that's why we wanted to get enough people on board. And we were, if you look at our anchor book itself, we got a very strong oversubscription in the anchor book. Very strong names, all the large mutual funds in India, large FIIs. So very happy with the kind of outcome this has been.
So one is the new institutional investors which have come in now, but there are also investors who've been invested in OLA Electric since its inception, largely some of the marquee PE investors. Now everyone is curious to say that what happens there, and as the company will go public, could there be a supply which could come from original investors and then anchor investors?
See, the way the ownership is, there's about 36-37% post-issue with the promoter group. And there are about, with this, I think a public float of about 17-18% probably, give or take a few. And the remaining with the private equity. So private equity have their own fund cycles and they will have their own assessment of our stock and how it performs and their own thesis on this sector. So they will have their own journey. Some of them will come into the public markets over time. We'll have to wait and watch how that evolves. But I think as long as the company continues to execute on its focus on electrifying automotive and building the EV technology in India, I think there'll be enough interest in our stock long term and enough growth that we are growing into, enough potential that we are growing into.
Now, when and how soon do you think OLA will turn into black, or in your case, I would say green?
हमने तो फाउंडेशन ही ग्रीन रखी है.
Exactly.
भी ग्रीन है. So we only think green, but no, but on a serious note, our focus is to drive profitable growth. And if you see our financials, which are in the prospectus, FY23 to FY24, we grew our revenue 90% to 5,300 crores in FY24. And along with that, our adjusted gross margins grew from 7.5% to 16.5%, about 9 points of improvement in just 1 year. And our EBITDA margin improves from -43% to -19%, 24 points of improvement in 1 year. And this highlights actually two themes, Nikunj, which I want to explain to your viewers. One is that we are a manufacturing business, and as we increase our top line and our volumes, the fixed cost and the other costs don't increase in line with it. So there's significant operating leverage ahead of us as our volumes go up, and that will be reflected in the EBITDA margins. The second point is actually the vertically integrated manufacturing strategy that we have, where we build all EV-centric components in-house. We make the technology and the manufacturing in-house. And the centerpiece of that coming ahead is our own lithium cell, which will be in our vehicles early next year onwards. So once that is done, and the cell contributes about 30% of the vehicle's cost, and as we bring that into India and make it within our own company, that will improve our margins by taking away the margins that a cell company makes. So that will see our gross margins improve. So with increasing scale and with the more vertical integration, you'll see a margin expansion over the next few years.
If I look at the ICE players, their average margins are between 15 to 20% depending on the cut and depending on the company you look at.
Yeah.
For Ola Electric, when things will settle down and when profitability will come, will a EV two-wheeler company or pure EV two-wheeler company have margins which would be higher than ICE companies?
See, there's a important strategic and thematic point I want to share with you and your viewers, Nikunj. If you look at ICE products, and you told that the margins are 15 to 20%, but there are important topics about ICE which are important to understand. So ICE is always inflationary, both on the fuel as well as the vehicle. पेट्रोल के दाम तो हमेशा बढ़ते हैं, हमने देखा है 10 साल में कितने बढ़े होंगे, 20 साल में कितने बढ़े होंगे. And there are multiple global macro reasons for that the ICE fuel always pricing goes up in India. Second is the vehicle cost also increases because emissions compliances keep getting stricter. So BS4 to BS6 in the entire automotive industry in India, you saw a cost jump of about 20-30% just because of compliance, emissions compliance. Now, these two things make the vehicle fundamentally costlier to buy and own for the end consumer. Whereas EV is actually the reverse. The vehicle cost itself keeps coming down because the battery is a technology component जिसका cost every generation कम हो रहा है. 10 साल पहले बैटरी था $1000 का, अब है $100 का. 5 साल बाद $50 का हो जाएगा शायद, या जहां भी जाएगा. So battery cost is only coming down. The second, even more important point, Nikunj, is the Prime Minister actually has said this in the most brilliant way that with the rooftop solar scheme, पावर घर का बिजली और गाड़ी का पेट्रोल का गाड़ी का फ्यूल फ्री हो जाएगा, क्योंकि गाड़ी जब ईवी होएगी और गाड़ी ईवी की आपके रूफटॉप सोलर से चार्ज होएगी तो आपको खर्चा ही नहीं है. So there will be actually zero cost of fuel eventually once that scheme becomes widely adopted and once everybody has EVs. So this story ends only one way. And with that happening, obviously, we as the leaders will have our own margin profile, etc. Steady state margins. I can't give you a number, but as you can see, as cost reduces of the vehicle and as fuel cost goes away, fundamentally consumer adoption and cost structure both will improve.
Okay. The battery business which you've started and it is going to grow. Now you perhaps have prompted me from your answer to ask the next question, which is that battery prices are coming down. And
Yes.
you're investing in a business where battery prices will come down and you don't know at what level they would settle. So if you're investing in a business where there could be disruption and it's a business where price will come down. So if both the products, if both those factors are at play, how will you eventually make money in the battery manufacturing?
So, Nikunj, we are not. So, if you look at the battery business traditionally, it has always followed a reducing cost curve because it's not a commodity. The commodities are lithium, nickel, etc. And then उनको use करके through technology एक cell बनाया जाता है या battery बनाई जाती है. And then उसका cost over the last 10 years has come from $1,000 per kilowatt hour to $100 per kilowatt hour. And this is not where it's going to end. It's going to go further lower through technology. So because we are not in the lithium business, but we are in the battery technology business and a vertically integrated one where we make our own cells, which go into our own vehicles. Fundamentally, if the input cost reduces of lithium, etc., with more mining of lithium and the technology advances, and since we are doing our own technology advancements, we are actually able to pass that cost benefit down to our product and hence the eventual consumer and hence competitive advantage for us. So we don't see that as a concern. Actually, the disruption will be caused by us because we are the disruptor in the technology of cell also.
How much of a battery capacity you think would be consumed by your own vehicles, which is two-wheelers and eventually four-wheelers someday?
No, we are right now in our phase one of battery capacity, which is 5 gigawatt hour. We are setting that up. We've already completed 1.5, and the remaining will come online early next year. So at 5 gigawatt hour, we can actually have enough cells for about 1.5 to 2 million two-wheelers. And at that scale, we believe we will have enough for ourselves, and then we'll have enough capacity to sell to other automotive companies or even to other end use cases like storage, be it home storage, etc. So that's our thinking. But when we get there, it depends on market dynamics, etc. But that is definitely something we are keeping an eye out for.
Okay, you are in your expansion phase right now, and you are investing in R&D. The prospectus of IPO explicitly talks about it. But given that you're talking about capacity, operating leverage, would OLA Electric ever be a debt-free company? Because that's when the P multiple from a stock market standpoint goes higher, the minute you become debt-free.
See, we'll manage our capital thoughtfully. We will definitely, we already have some debt. We are, by the way, retiring about 800 crores of debt in the use of proceeds, as you would have seen. So that'll also reduce our interest costs after this IPO. But looking ahead, we do expect different sources of capital, debt being only one of them. We do expect accruals. We do expect even incentives, etc., that the government has, both PLI as well as FAME, etc., to help bring in accruals to fund for both capacity expansion and R&D. The specifics of this I can't share right now, but as we bring out our Q1 results, soon enough in this month, you will see how the numbers are looking, both from an investment perspective as well as a P&L perspective.
Started the Ola mobility business, there was a big question mark whether you will ever turn profitable. But you've turned profitable, and you've turned profitable, I think, a good 2 years ahead of what everyone thought. Can I expect a similar kind of a surprise from Ola Electric?
We are, Nikunj, very focused on building a sustainable business. Pun intended, actually. Sustainability for the environment, sustainability for the balance sheet. So we are on that journey.
The sustainability for a stock price will come with EPS. So let's talk about the other sustainability.
Yeah. No, like I said, we are focused on that. EV is like a day one or day zero opportunity in India. And as we are building, we are investing into capacity as well as capability. And these investments will generate the returns in terms of profitability in the future. When and how much it's exactly, I will have to request you to wait for our numbers.
Last but one question, and again in markets when you'll go public, there would be one absolute valuation, and it would be a relative valuation. Since you are a EV two-wheeler company, and then you also have a battery business in it, and then motorcycles could be coming very soon, what would be the benchmark for anyone to really understand the true value for Ola Electric?
See, fundamentally, we are a technology company in the business of automotive and energy, right? So our investments, our focus, our team, etc., are all on building the future of technologies in these domains, and through that, building products which consumers want. So in that sense, the way to look at us would be how any technology-led company in this domain would be performing in India or globally, and the way their growth would be, and the way their valuation metrics would be. And there are enough global examples, the obvious ones, all of us know, the iconic companies around the world on EVs.
Okay. So excited for the listing? Have you thought of a listing speech? What will you tell your shareholders and employees?
I will speak from the heart, Nikunj. So I'm definitely very excited, and it's an important milestone for the whole company and everybody who works at Ola Electric. Everybody's worked really hard for this journey, and it's been a very fast journey also. We're just a 4-5-year-old company to go to listing, and I was looking at some data where I couldn't see a company which has gone public, which is younger than us in terms of when we started building to when we will be listing. So in that sense, everybody has put in their heart and soul and blood and sweat, everything into this. So, and it's an important day for all of us.
So 15th August is or 15th August is the launch showcase day of Ola. Should we expect something big on 15th August?
Absolutely. It's our annual product launch day, and हम हर साल कुछ बड़ा दिखाते हैं. 3 साल पहले we showed our first electric vehicle. So this year we'll actually there'll be Ola Electric announcements, there'll be Ola consumer announcements, there'll be Ola Kritrim announcements. So it's a very exciting day, and I hope to speak to you on that day too.
So 2 big things to look forward to. So Bhavish bhai, we would speak twice in a year. Now you're going public, which means at least 4 interviews in a year.
Bilkul, I hope to be speaking more often to you now that we're a public company.
Well, look forward to it. Good luck and all the best for a big bang listing.
Thank you so much, Nikunj. Cheers.
Cheers.